India has successfully launched the country's 100th satellite from its southern spaceport. The Earth observation satellite Cartosat was carried by Polar Satellite Launch Vehicle. Along with that, 30 micro and nano satellites were also launched by the same rocket. India's last attempt satellite launch failed in August. Now, for more on this, we're joined by our correspondent Ravinder Bawa. Ravinder, how significant was today's satellite launch?
Absolutely, it was an important day today. It all started at 9:28 a.m. when these satellites were launched from the land of India, and it was nervousness in the beginning in the Space Center, but as the minute by minute the satellite went away, the rocket went away from the Earth, there was a smile on the faces of those 10 scientists who had memories of previous failure, which was in August 2017. So it was only after the 17th minute, and Chandrayaan, you will have to actually let me allow and refer to my notes because rocket science is very complicated. So I'll have to read a bit of what really went on in this launch. It was around in the 17th minute when, after the liftoff happened, that the rocket injected its main payload, which was the Cartosat 2 series satellite, which was around 710 kg. So this was the basic major load that it was carrying. It was around the 17th minute that this was injected into the polar sun synchronous orbit at an altitude of 510 kilometers from the Earth. And after that, in a span of 7 minutes, the rest of the other nano and micro satellites and the satellites of 28 satellites from 6 foreign countries were also launched, and the total weight of this whole different satellites which was being carried by the PSLV was around 1,323 kilos, and it was the 42nd flight by PSLV that happened, and it carried the 100th satellite Cartosat 2 series with it, which actually is going to help India in a lot of ways. It's a follow-up mission in providing high-resolution scene-specific spot imageries, because it's carrying a pan-chromatic and multispectral camera which is actually operating in time delay integration mode and is capable of delivering high resolution data to the country. It will also enable us to help us in the weather forecast, which will enable fishermen and farmers to actually plan their future better. Prime Minister Narendra Modi congratulated the scientists, and actually the scientists said that this is a New Year's gift to the country. So let's see how it all happened today morning.
This is the 100th satellite rising from the land of India. After its failure in 2017, this polar satellite launch vehicle was refurbished with a heat shield, and its eject mechanism was repaired. This rocket is carrying Cartosat 2 series satellite and 30 nano satellites into the orbit.
Polar satellite launch vehicle is the workhorse rocket of India. It is a rocket which has delivered extremely well for the country. It delivered the moon mission, it delivered the Mars mission for India, it has delivered scores of satellites not only for India but also the world. It's the same vehicle which created a world record by launching 104 satellites in space. So it's a very robust, credible and a very powerful vehicle for India.
Year 2018 holds a lot of promise for India's space program. The much-awaited moon mission Chandrayaan 2 is all set to be launched in the second quarter of this year. The moon lander is undergoing tests and the flight hardware is getting assembled. Geosatellite launch vehicle is also ready to enter the space, and many more are in the pipeline.
India hopes to make a mark by sending a large 6-ton satellite in space, which will give India for the first time satellite-based internet for the country, which will really be one step forward for fulfilling Prime Minister Narendra Modi's dream of having a digital India.
Indian space program is designed to meet the civilian needs of the country. The Indian Space Research Organization, or ISRO, named Cartosat 2 series satellite, which was launched today, as the New Year's gift to the country.